What is poppin' YouTube? Back again with another mock draft 2 nights in a row. What would you expect? Excited to dive into another Dynasty mock draft. Super flex for tonight. Let's let people tune in and we will get started. Let me let them know. And yeah, we're super pumped, excited for tonight. You know, we were just chatting about Elijah Moore and the wonderful season he's about to have in Cleveland. But without further ado, let us get this kicked off. Start the draft. Who's going one-on-one? Is it going to be Patrick Mahomes? Going to be Josh Allen? Better be Patrick Mahomes, especially in Superflex League. There we go. Patrick Mahomes right off the board. Josh Allen, 102. Joe Burrow, 1-3. Typical start. We're loving what we're seeing. Excited. Appreciate everyone for tuning in here tonight and or watching the replay. As always, if you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button, helps me out a ton. It's free. We're putting out a video tomorrow talking about Jordan Love. We're putting out a video on Sunday talking about Elijah Moore. Monday, we're dropping my rookie mock draft. More videos to come, as well as doing these. We're going to start doing these, I think, maybe not nightly, but we need to get down a good routine. Lamar Jackson goes at the 1-7. We are very upset about that because we were hoping he would fall to me. And now I'm in this predicament where I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence. I think this has recently been happening where I've been watching a lot of videos and being in other mock drafts with Trevor Lawrence going in like the 1-6 area and then Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields falling. But yeah, getting Trevor Lawrence at the 1-9 feels great. I appreciate everyone for tuning in here tonight. We'll see Deshaun Watson goes at the 1-10. I think Deshaun Watson's ADP is starting to get right back to where we want it to be as a whole, but we're going to have to see how that ends up playing out throughout this whole offseason. So was dealing with some mic problems last night. So if anything starts to happen or goes wonky here tonight, please let me know in the chat. I got my little recording interface here next to me that shows it, but sometimes I don't look all the time. And if that happens and I go mute, someone just comment in the chat. So I appreciate that. At the 111, we had Jamar Chase, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray at the 2-1. I think Kyler Murray is also very undervalued as a quarterback just based on the performance that he had. No Torres ACL, no he's 5'10", but being able to start like Jay, where you got Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray, super good. Bijan at the 2-2. Who's going to fall? Please don't do it to me. So I'm typically a start 2 quarterback kind of guy in a super flex mock, but we'll see if this one player falls to me. I don't think I'm going to be able to let him see. AJ Brown goes. We're taking CD Lamb. Feeling very confident with CD Lamb as my wide receiver 1. Honestly, I've been seeing CD Lamb go right around the 111, 112 range, right around Bijan Robinson, which of course is like right here, but I would prefer CD Lamb to AJ Brown, I think, just based on age. And I think he's going to take a big step up this year, hopefully with Brandon Cooks on the other side of him, taking some of that coverage away. So yeah, like I said, if this is your first time joining the channel, I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're going to be doing a lot more mocks. So the way you can do it is actually subscribing to my Twitter. Best way to get involved in these lives. Oh my goodness. You know, I love when community members, we just like support each other. Yo, what's good? Doing good, bro. Doing good. Glad to have you. I know I've been jumping into a lot of your chats. So love to see everything you guys are doing over there. And your channel's grown a ton. Your consistency was way better than my consistency. At the 2-5, we have Breece Hall. 2-6, Jonathan Taylor. Are we taking Breece Hall or JT? How are we feeling here and the dynasty rankings? I'm still Breece Hall, but Jonathan Taylor feels like a perfectly could be the RB1 this year. Great buy low opportunity if you are a contender. CMC at the 2-7, and then Jalen Waddle at the 2-8. Yeah, I'm glad you agree. Yeah, CD over AJ Brown. I think purely on age, but yeah, I mean, AJ Brown attached to Jalen Hurts, that's great. That's great. And you're going Breece. Got it. Yeah. Glad Breece over JT. And sadly, yeah, I know a lot of people are watching March Madness right now. I'm repping my North Carolina Michael Jordan jersey. Sad to see the Tar Heels just fall apart this year. That was brutal as well. But we're not a basketball channel. We are a fantasy football channel. So Ken Walker at the 2-9, Amon-Ra at the 2-10, Last night we did a third round reversal. Tonight we are not doing a third round reversal. Tyreek Hill at the 211. I feel like there's some great value still falling down the board. Like, to be honest, I think we'll see when this person goes, but there's a wide receiver on the board that I would still be taking over all these guys that we just drafted. Like, I'd be taking them right after CeeDee Lamb. Still on the board. Maybe he'll fall to me. Let's speak it into existence. It's not going to happen, but Stephon Diggs at 3-2. Another receiver that I would still take over all these guys we're talking about. Travis Etienne at the 3-3. I do love it. I got Travis Etienne in the 4th round last night. Felt like that was a terrible fall that he had. I think that was purely based on the third round reversal we ended up doing. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in here tonight. Travis Kelce at the 3-4. Best tight end in the game. And I think if you can bank on Travis Kelce giving you another 2 years of production, you're going to feel really good. And yeah, Coach Hugh is talking it up in the chat, talking about how he just got the stack. Thunder Lions. Hopefully he doesn't auto. He's on. Oh, there we go. Austin Eckler at the 3-5. Austin Eckler has been going super early, in my personal opinion. So I don't know what that necessarily is with Austin Eckler. I know his age. Is it maybe the trade rumors? But I can't buy Austin Eckler in the 3rd round when there's other wide receivers that I would much rather take. And I didn't even go with my own strategy. Quarterback seems to be falling a little bit. Kyle Pitts at the 3-6. I do like me some Kyle Pitts. I drafted him last night at the 3-5. I think Kyle Pitts is in for a breakout year. So we'll definitely have to do tight end rankings updated. I think Kyle Pitts is still my dynasty tight end 1. It's just gonna depend. Mark Andrews at the 3-7. Is my man gonna fall to me? Funkish monkey, man. Garrett Wilson, man. I would have taken him ahead of Jalen Waddle. He's ahead of Jalen Waddle in my rankings. But all these quarterbacks are falling in a super flex mock. Like, they should be going in the 2nd. And so CJ Stroud, I got him yesterday actually in the 2nd. And so now I really love this. The fact that he fell all the way there. Yeah, I can't believe both the quarterbacks fell. So if Garrett Wilson was going to be there, I'd probably prefer Garrett Wilson over CJ Stroud. Actually, no, I prefer CJ Stroud over Garrett Wilson, but I do like Garrett Wilson more than I like Jalen Waddle. I just think CJ Stroud and Bryce Young fell way too far here in this mock draft. Yeah, I know he's been going after it, and I know it's probably going to rise here in the next few weeks, especially with the Aaron Rodgers news. I can't. He's a target hog, and he doesn't have to compete with targets with, like, Jalen Waddle has to compete with Tyreek Brown. Monroe St. Brown, we're banking on them adding either another pass catcher or Jameson Williams getting fully healthy. And so you could argue the fact that Garrett Wilson has to compete with targets with Allen Lazard, McCole Hardman, but, like, I am not that scared. T. Higgins at the 3-11, like that pick. He fell way too far. Chris Olave at the 3-12. Jackson Smith and Jigba at the 4-1. I'm intrigued by where JSN ends up, as well as where he's going right now. JSN is my 105 in rookie rankings, which I will be putting out a mock draft video on Monday about it. And I am on the clock. Nobody that I absolutely love fell to me. We're not looking at running backs. We already have 2 quarterbacks, so we're going to be doubling up on these wide receivers. We're going Drake London. I think we could have built a very nice win now team with the Devontae Adams or a Cooper Kupp there. But I think Drake London is going to surprise a lot of people this year, especially I have him right now in my wide receiver 12. I would not be surprised if by the end of the season we're looking at him as like the wide receiver 8, just based on the pure target share, which people will argue Kyle Pitts wasn't healthy, Caleb. So that's the reason he got all those targets. But targets are earned, not given. And Drake London still earned them on one of the lowest passing offenses. So as long as Atlanta can kind of get to middle of the road, even if they get to like the 20th overall passing efficiency in the league, Drake London, all signs are pointing up. So getting him as my wide receiver 2, feel very confident in that. Then we had Devontae Smith at the 4-5, Josh Jacobs at the 4-6, and we will see what strength coach does there. Yeah, and so Dynasty, going about the Garrett Wilson, talking about before Diggs and Hill. Yeah. I love London top 5 in target share and targets per route run. Yeah, it's Drake London. Like, I was high on him. He was my wide receiver 1 coming into the class last year, and he did nothing for me to push him down my rankings. But I feel like a lot of people, like, just based on the fact that there wasn't the volume, there wasn't the fantasy points per game, like, kind of have pushed him down the rankings and almost forgotten about him. Like right now, if I could trade a 105 or 106 for Drake London, I'm doing that all day. And I think a lot of people would. Like, it's hard to say because everyone loves JSN. It's hype to say that JSN like clearly is going ahead of him even in startups. So it'd be like, oh man, if I had a pick and I'm not trading JSN for Drake London, but Drake London actually has done it at the NFL level and JSN is still hasn't done it. So I would be the one to trade for the still young upside. They have like the same upside, but one has actually commanded those targets. Yeah. You know what? You were a lot more bold than me. I would probably have him as wide receiver 10, but I might need to adjust my rankings a little bit. It's just hard. There's a bunch of guys in that mix that you're like super close on, especially like T. Higgins, Chris Olave, Drake London, DK Metcalf, JSN, and Devontae Smith, like that range. Like so many people have them in just different ranges. Then, so let's get back to the board. So we have Josh Jacobs, Jahmyr Gibbs, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Chubb at 410. Feels a little early to me, but who am I? Tony Pollard, 411. Deebo Samuel at the 412. Christian Watson at the 5-1. DeAndre Swift at the 5-2. Coach Hugh, I don't know if he knows that David Montgomery signed to the Lions. He didn't comment anything like that, but he did sign with the Lions. So therefore, I believe Swift should be going a little bit lower than that. TJ Hawkinson at the 5-3. Ramondre Stevenson at the 5-4. Derrick Henry at the 5-5. Thunderloins is building, I guess, a win now roster. I just feel like Derrick Henry in the 5th is just super, super early. Yeah, glad we agree on that. But yeah, Michael Pittman at the 5-6. We're looking at our team. We got 2 quarterbacks. We got 2 solid wide receivers. We'll probably hammer wide receivers. We could also go heavy quarterback if we really wanted to. I think that's the hard thing, like value-wise, like in a super flex league, it's like these quarterbacks are worth so much. Hey, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'll be jumping in your stream here whenever you end up going live over the next few days. I'm taking Jameson Williams. Having a wide receiver 3 with upside, pretty good. There's some value on the board that I hope falls to me. And we'll see if it makes its way back. I have a feeling What Is a Catch is going to end up taking the player that I want. He went super heavy on the quarterback side, which I do like. Like if I was in an actual league startup, I'd probably like hoarding the quarterbacks like this. It makes me a little bit nervous only because we can clearly see that this league is not valuing quarterbacks as high. So then trying to trade at a premium might not in effect actually happen. Might actually be getting quarterbacks at a discount. I was really hoping Najee Harris was going to fall back to me for my RB1, but we're going straight like 0 RB, and I don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about it at all. Exactly, Hurricane. Draft for value, trade for need. The only issue is if you draft all the value and no one else values what you're drafting. So I don't know. It's something that we have to consider. I'm on the clock here, and there's a wide receiver staring down my face, and I'm messing, but he's not going to fall back to me. But I'll take Javonte as my RB1, fully knowing he's not going to be healthy this year. It's not going to look great, and we're going to have to probably trade something for him. So, but we shall see. We shall see. After I drafted Javonte Williams, we then had DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin go off the board. Hurricane, I need you to get in one of these drafts with me, dude. I need you to get in one of these drafts. I don't know what it is. We need you to be in the draft with us. After I drafted Javonte, we had DJ Moore. DJ Moore with the Chicago Bears feels very interesting. With the Justin Fields, he's the best wide receiver, but what is that target share going to look like for DJ Moore this year? Terry McLaurin at the 6-6. Russ Wilson. Will Sean Payton let Russ cook? Still TBD. Everything coming through with the mic. My mic's, I think, acting up a little bit. So appreciate if anyone in the chat would let me know. It looks good on my end, but you never know. After Russ, George Kittle off the board. I've always been a big George Kittle believer, but last year before the season started, I actually traded all of my George Kittle shares. Actually, in a lot of leagues, I pivoted. I went George Kittle and traded for Derrick Henry, and because a lot of people were getting scared of that age cliff, and I think that's one of the most impressive things about Dynasty is getting some of these running backs at that age cliff that then can provide value and production to your roster without having to spend up. Like Joe Mixon at 6'9", and tell me if I'm crazy. I think I have Miles Sanders ahead of Joe Mixon at this point. Miles Sanders has the guaranteed like next 2 years on his contract. I know he signed a 3-year deal, but we're like not necessarily sure that he's probably going to get cut in that 3rd year because of how high the deal is. Like I'm probably taking Miles Sanders over Joe Mixon all day, every day, the rest of this Dynasty offseason. So, but appreciate everyone for tuning in. Tomorrow we will be running through why I think Jordan Love is a buy. That's Saturday video. Sunday video, we're talking about Elijah Moore, why I think Elijah Moore is a buy. Monday, we are doing I'm posting my redraft first round not redraft, my Dynasty rookie mock draft rankings for the first round after pre-combine, after these pro days. And then we'll see what I end up posting on Tuesday. But anyway, make sure you're subscribed so you can watch those next 3 videos. Try to keep them very short, concise, and sweet, so you're not watching like 20 minutes of somebody rambling. I hate those YouTube videos, like especially like when someone takes a super long intro. I think that's kind of ridiculous, and I like to be like, here, we're talking about Elijah Moore. Here's why. Maybe we'll eventually get like a cool intro video, but I also feel like those sometimes too feel dumb because like I didn't come for the intro video. I came to hear you talk about Elijah Moore. So appreciate everyone for tuning in. Joe McDonald autos, Kirk Cousins, the 7-4. Not a bad auto. Sometimes Sleeper does give you good auto picks. So does feel good about that. But let me know how many drafts have you guys been doing this offseason? Have you done any? Would you like to join a few? Make sure you're following me on Twitter, or make sure you subscribe on the YouTube so that you're able to see what's coming down the pike. Kirk Cousins at the 7-4. Dalvin Cook at the 7-5. Teammates. All these rumors about Dalvin Cook being released. It's kind of hard to believe that they would release Dalvin Cook. Feels like he's the whole offense. At 7-7, Hollywood Brown goes. We're a little bit nervous about Hollywood Brown. Not as high as I was last year. The thing with Hollywood Brown is Kyler's not going to be playing. And if Kyler's not playing as much, he's probably not playing until week 8, week 10. Hard to draft. Hard to draft Hollywood Brown high, especially with him turning 26. 27. His game is mostly speed. Now, the one thing that is the pro for Hollywood Brown is the fact that DeAndre Hopkins gets traded. All those targets are then going to follow to Hollywood Brown. Trey Burks at the 7-9. Very great value for Treylon Burks. I guess I didn't see him fall all that way. I was thinking about taking him at the 6-4, honestly. Treylon Burks, highly slept on. Oh, I autoed, clearly. I was just chatting it away. Glad Otto knows who to draft for me. I think I autoed last night too. But yeah, no, Treylon Burks. Wow. What a great value for an auto pick. As I'm just here chatting away, not even thinking about who I'm supposed to be drafting. I think maybe that's what I should do next time. I just need to facilitate and then comment on who people end up drafting. We still have some quarterbacks available. Still some decent running backs. Just like the wide receivers just are just plentiful at this point. I'm taking Calvin Ridley. The fact that he's fallen this far to the 8th round is crazy as well. Calvin Ridley, I think he should probably be going in that Jordan Addison to Quentin Johnston range. I think all those guys should be going higher. Like I'd probably be taking Quentin Johnston over DJ Moore and Terry McLaurin at this point. But I think a lot can be said. I think the combine scared a lot of people away from what like Jordan Addison and Quentin Johnston. They're still both going to be first round receivers. Maybe Jordan Addison slips to the second, but Quentin Johnston for sure is not slipping to the second. And those are valuable. Those are super valuable in Dynasty. So Deontay Johnson at the 8-7. Deontay Johnson, the reemergence. We're excited as a channel. We did believe in Deontay Johnson before he broke out. We still believe in him, even though last year seemed like a down year. His target share percentage was still high as can be. And Kenny Pickett just needs to continue to improve. I think a lot of us in the Dynasty community, like we see Kenny Pickett and we're like, man, he's not Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have like an amazing first year. But I don't think Kenny Pickett's Zach Wilson. He's for sure better than that. So give the man some time. But I would be actually, and this is a bold take. And tell me if I'm wrong. I'm taking Jordan Love over Kenny Pickett. Like the fact that he's fallen this far, if he falls back to me, I'm taking Jordan Love. Stamp of approval. Jordan Love's like my quarterback 14 right now. He's proven literally nothing. But you need to check my video out that I'm posting tomorrow. Dropping tomorrow at noon, EST. It's literally 4 minutes long. Come watch it. Tell me I'm wrong about Jordan Love. But you got to first watch it, hear my thoughts, and then you tell me I'm wrong. Dude's going to be a baller. And I think the Packers have one. Aaron Rodgers. Goodbye. Go to New York. Boost up Garrett Wilson's value. For all those Christian Watson owners thinking, oh, it's not going to be the same. No. If we saw anything from when Jordan Love came in, the dude can sling it. So as long as he targets Christian Watson, we're fine. Those are just the question marks that we still have. Isaiah Pacheco at the 8-11. Keenan Allen at the 8-12. Rashad Bateman at the 9-1. Tyler Algier at the 9-2. Man, Coach Hugh going heavy RB. Just absolutely heavy. The DeAndre Swift pick at the 5-2 is mind-boggling because I'd still have Miles Sanders rated above DeAndre Swift. Tyler Algier at the 9-2. Josh Downs at the 9-3. Mike Evans at the 9-4. And then Geno Smith at the 9-5. Thunderloins here doing his best impression of late round QB, even though he took Derrick Henry at the 5-5, is interesting, but we're going to let that slide. We're going to let that slide because Derrick Henry's a monster. And maybe, just like I've bought Derrick Henry on a lot of my competing dynasty teams because I thought, you know what, he's probably in for 20 touches here. Maybe this man turns into Jerome Bettis. Maybe this man turns into Emmitt Smith and plays until he's 32, 33. We'll see. I am on the clock. David Montgomery just went at the 9-8, freaking 3 rounds behind DeAndre Swift. That is ridiculous. And like I promised, the fact of the matter that Jordan Love is still on the board is ridiculous. Is absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, you better come back tomorrow. I am passionate about Jordan Love, and we are putting our stamp on it. Jordan Love is going to be at the end of next. We can even say by midway through this next season, will be in the top 15 of dynasty quarterbacks. I don't even think that's crazy to say. Right now, if I had the 108 and all these quarterbacks are off the board, and so you're in a rookie draft and you absolutely need a quarterback, just throw that thing for Jordan Love and watch it return a ton of value. Now, I know in this draft, the people drafting with me right now, we are not going, it's clearly like we do not value quarterbacks in the 12 of us drafting. I value quarterbacks, but I just played the board. Jordan Love should not have fallen to the 9th round. I honestly do believe Jordan Love will be, by summer, will be being drafted in that 5th round, right behind Trey Lance. So if that makes you leave the channel, I appreciate, I would respect that. I understand it's a bold take, but it's not as bold. I saw someone say something like crazy today on Twitter, trying to get like clicks. So like, that's nothing I would say to like drive. Like, I honestly believe it. And like, it is what it is. Devin A-Chain at the 9-10, Mac Jones at the 9-11, Zay Flowers at the 9-12, Tyler Lockett at the 10-1, Aaron Rodgers at the 10-2. Nathaniel, I appreciate you being here in the chat. I appreciate you interacting. As always, want you to be a part of this community, so please hit that sub, hit that like, because I want you interacting all the time and commenting. What's your take on Jerry Jeudy? I think it's interesting. Oh, I'm on the clock here. Let me answer this question after I quickly peruse. I need a running back, and we're going to take James Cook. I think Jerry Jeudy's an interesting case where he didn't play as well last year. Clearly, the whole Denver Broncos offense wasn't great. And we bring in Sean Payton. I think Jerry Jeudy's the number one. I mean, clearly Courtland Sutton is not who we believed he could be. We thought, oh, just get this man a quarterback. Courtland Sutton was literally in the DJ Moore syndrome for like 3 straight seasons. No, he tore his ACL. But no, we were just like, get this man a quarterback and he's going to be freaking Randy Moss. No, that's not what happened with Courtland Sutton. Now, Jerry Jeudy, pristine route runner, gets open. He just didn't get like the target share. And I know he was a little bit banged up last year. Now, I think with them trying to trade him off, I think that's good for him. I think if he stays, it's still good for him. But I think if he stays, it's actually going to be a buy low opportunity because I believe they're going to get the offensive line fixed. I believe then it's going to give Russ enough time to cook. And then hopefully Jerry Jeudy can then average somewhere between 130 to 140 targets this year and be pretty fantasy relevant. But to answer your question, like he's a wide receiver too for me in Dynasty. And if you can get any better value from that, or like if you could trade Jerry Jeudy for like the 107, 108, I'm probably doing that in a super flex league. But there's a chance that based on the tiers of this year's draft, that's not going to happen. And then like if we get past, like you can't, let's say if you can't get Jordan Addison or you can't get Quentin Johnston, it's like the tier after that, like I'm not trading Jerry Jeudy. Juju Smith-Schuster at the 10-11, Juju to New England. Just feels like they sent him there to be banished. But he got his long-term extension, you know? So when he does his little TikTok dance, I bet you he does one with Bill Belichick. I think Bill Belichick is trying to turn himself into like a player's coach because it's just been real brutal for them ever since Tom Brady left. Mac Jones is definitely not the answer. And I would actually add that I think there's a good enough chance, and maybe I'm wrong. I've heard rumors and reports that they would be interested in Lamar Jackson. And I would agree. Dude, Bill Belichick has a great defense. Dude just needs a competent quarterback. And Mac Jones, as much as like he's competent, he's just not skilled enough. Like Mac Jones would fit perfectly with the 49ers. Mac Jones is Brock Purdy, which is I think why Brock Purdy's done so well. Is that's the type of quarterback that Kyle Shanahan wants, which makes me believe that it might be bad news for Trey Lance and all of the Trey Lance shares. Let's get back to this mock draft because I'm just over here ranting. We have James Conner at 10-12. 10-12, yeah. Cole Kmet, Darren Waller, Michael Mayer, Dalton Schultz. I'd honestly taking Darren Waller over Cole Kmet right now. And I'm back on the board. Antonio Gibson off the board. We got some receivers that we don't like. Have we drafted a tight end? We have not. Tight end is empty. And there's guys that I actually prefer, and I'm taking David Njoku. And this is perfectly why we do late round tight end. The difference between honestly David Njoku on a points per game basis and like Pat Freiermuth is like 2 or 3. And I just got David Njoku 4 rounds. Yeah, glad I could do math. 4 rounds after Pat Freiermuth. So that's all I have to say. If you are still watching, appreciate everyone for tuning in here tonight. Like I said, come back in tomorrow. Check out that Jordan Love video. Appreciate everyone for being here and just hanging out. Dalton Kincaid at the 11-12. Honestly, these rookie tight ends, don't take any rookie tight end in the first round of your rookie mock draft or your rookie draft after the NFL draft, or if you're doing it before. Wait until the second. There's literally 4 guys: Dalton Kincaid, Michael Mayer, Darnell Washington, and Luke Musgrave. All 4 of those guys, I couldn't even tell them really apart because they're all going to be really good NFL tight ends. It's just going to matter on landing spot and the depth where they land. So really just landing spot and draft capital, which almost all those guys are going first round and or second round of the actual NFL draft. So I would wait until the second to draft any of them. We are back on the clock. We're looking at wide receivers. There's none that we're like super like into. Ryan Tannehill's still there. I already have 3 quarterbacks, even though it feels like it would be nice to draft another one. There's some guys that we like. We probably should draft another running back. All those guys are kind of cheeks, honestly. So we're going to go with Zeke. Zeke's old. I know I just bashed on veteran running backs, but I think Zeke can kind of sign somewhere getting him in the 12th round, it feels like he's just a touchdown or bust kind of guy. And as your RB3, what more can you expect? And especially if he goes back to number 15. If he goes back to number 15 like he had in college, all signs are pointing to go for Ezekiel Elliott. Now we're hoping that someone ends up falling to us for this last pick, but if not, we're not that worried if he doesn't, because like we said, this is the end of the draft. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Like, for real, me just being able to ramble up here for 30 minutes talking about fantasy football, dynasty fantasy football. Like, I'm not getting paid for this, but it's like one of my favorite hobbies is just like interacting with cool people like you. Yeah. So in our chat, Dr. Strauss, you sniped me on Yun. That 111 spot is tough. Yeah, 111 is a rough spot to be in this year. 100%. Super rough spot. So after I drafted Zeke, we had Hendon Hooker, Tony, Sutton, Tank, Zach Evans, Wandale, Desmond Ridder, Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell just feels dangerous at this point. It just feels like they're going to draft a running back to back up CMC. Like they always do. It's always the 3rd or 4th round, and one of these good running backs ends up going to them. Blake Willis at the 13-1, Michael Thomas at the 13-2, Ryan Tannehill at the 13-3, Darnell Mooney at the 13-4, Sean Tucker at the 13-5. And we shall see what happens from here. Our guy's still on the board. Jamal Williams feels like that guy should have been picked. Maybe I should have picked Jamal Williams over Zeke just based on contract. But I don't think he's getting the same amount of touchdowns that he had last year. And there goes the man. Strength coach, freaking crap. Dude, I wanted Sky Moore so bad. I saw him on the list. I was like, okay. He's the wide receiver 2 currently in Kansas City because Juju left. And I don't know if they might draft somebody, but Sky Moore, even though he didn't produce last year, had sneaky good stats, sneaky good target share, enough things to make us think there's good things coming down the pike for Sky Moore. And I'm up. We're going to draft Jacoby Myers, the good old reliable wide receiver 25. I know he just got the huge contract from the Las Vegas Raiders. No one's in love with Jimmy G, but the one thing that we do know about Jimmy G is he does like his slot wide receivers. And so Jacoby Myers at 13-9 feels great. Then we had Rashawn Johnson, Josh Palmer at the 13-11. Damien Harris at the 13-8 and Jamal Williams at the 13-7. I like those 3 picks, Sky Moore, Jamal Williams, and Damien Harris. Great values that were there in the 3rd round. And yeah, that was the draft here tonight. Like always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in, just being able to vibe out and have a good night. Tomorrow we're releasing the video about Jordan Love, so make sure you check that out. Releasing that at noon Eastern. Sunday, we're releasing a video talking about Elijah Moore and what his trade to the Cleveland Browns means for his overall dynasty value, bouncing back. And then also on Monday, we're releasing my rookie ranking video. All good things to come. So we're probably going to do another live tomorrow night. So make sure you follow me on Twitter or message me on Sleeper or comment on YouTube to make sure that we get you into that live tomorrow night. But as always, appreciate everyone for tuning in and have a great night. And I will catch you on the next one. Peace.